So some of you would have recently seen a little tour of Matilda on the Off-Grid Nomad's channel, and some of those that did have been asking me about my fridge freezer, so I thought I'd do a little video, tell you what it is and a little review. Now, I've been running this fridge, it's actually a fridge freezer, 2.5 years now, every day. Now, brand, it's a Frigo. Now, it's Italian. I may not have pronounced that correctly. I think their target market is the luxury yacht market. So it is a beautiful piece of equipment, stainless steel, and it is not cheap. And I'll come back to that in a minute, and I'll tell you why I think it is actually the best deal you're going to get when it comes to camper fridges. Now, this is, as I say, it's 2.5 years old. There are some new models, and I'll cover that in a moment. I've gone for a fridge freezer, and you can get fridge, freezer, and some of the newer models actually have a control, so you can adjust the temperature of both compartments. You can have a fridge, freezer, however you want to do it. You can do it and just change it at will. This one doesn't. This just has a temperature control up here. So I've gone for freezer, fridge. So my freezer at the top and fridge at the bottom. That may sound like the wrong way to do it, and I would agree with you, except I wanted a larger freezer area. Now, because the compressor is at the bottom of this compartment, it makes the fridge a little bit smaller. So I wanted a big freezer. Because I'm overlanding in remote locations, I wanted to be able to store lots of food, keep it nice and cold until I need it. So it's a Frigo. It's got lights inside. I've used this in plus 45 degrees and down to minus 45 degrees centigrade. Now, obviously, the minus centigrade you wouldn't have thought was a problem, but knowing it can work well up to 45 degrees is something people want to know about. So the freezer, it's still frozen. Food in there is cold at plus 45 degrees outside. I don't have air conditioning in here, so in here it would have got in the high 30s at times, and the fridge freezer is worked perfectly. In terms of power, I'm running a 24 volt system here. I've got big batteries, got loads of solar on top, but I don't think you actually need all that. I did go for lots of solar and big batteries because I'm running a fridge freezer, but it does seem incredibly economical. So it's running right now, you can hear it. Bit of a hum there. Now right now, and from experience, it'll be using about 80 watts, but I'm going to check it right now and show you. Okay, so right now I'm actually using 77 watts. So that is the fridge freezer running, plus we've got lights on, the Wi-Fi router's on. So it's probably using maybe 60 watts right now. So yeah, I think that's really good compared to a lot of camper fridge freezers. Well, no, not even freezers, mostly fridges. Now I'm going to say, I think this is probably the best fridge you can get for your camper. It runs off 12 volt, 24 volt, and optional, you do pay more for this, 240 volt. I don't know if there's a gas option. It's not something I was interested in, so I didn't look into that. You may find there's an LPG option as well. Why do I think it's the best? Well, build quality is stainless steel. I mean, if you're watching in my travel videos, I've really been places. I've been off-road for months at a time. This thing's really been shaken. As I say, it's been hot and cold climates. It has stood up really well. I think camper fridges, 12 volt, 24 volt fridges, are ridiculous for the money. And you're looking at £900 for something I think is a plasticky piece of crap. Now, when I was doing my research, there was an American brand, and I can't remember what it is. They had some chest fridge freezers, and that is the brand I was probably going to go for. They were top loading, and there's an option of aluminium or stainless steel. Now that's what I was going for, because they seem like the best quality for the price, and they were around £1,400. I decided I was prepared to pay that, and then I found this. This cost me, it was less than £1,500. I think that £1,400, maybe £1,420. Came from Italy, and The thing that's really great is this is 144 litres. Now, I don't think you can get anywhere close to that value for money on a camper 12 volt or 24 volt fridge. And then I think this is a far superior quality product. And when I mentioned earlier, I'm going to tell you why I think this is the best. I think because its size is 24 volt, 12 volt, it's stainless steel, it works in extreme temperatures, it consumes very little power, and it's £1,400. Now when you're paying £700 for a little fridge, which is a bit plasticky, not very good, we're easily £1,000, £1,200. And the one I mentioned a moment ago, the American one, and I can't remember the name, but I'll find it and add it in I'll just put in text here. They were the same price and they were smaller, and they weren't designed to fit nicely like this one. This one just integrates into your kitchen beautifully. It is quite big. I mean, we're looking at almost, it's at 640mm wide, but it does fit under a standard worktop. I'm going to show you a space inside in a minute. My only criticism is, and it's not really criticism, because I think it's the same is going to happen with all freezers, and that it does ice up across the top. Gee, I do have another criticism. The locking mechanism on this particular one, it has these two bits of metal that fold over. Now, if you're going to buy one, don't go for this option. There is another option with a handle. It's an inset handle in here, and that is a lock-in releasing mechanism. Go for that. The problem with this system is you have to lock it. If you forget to lock it and you drive off, drive around a corner or you're off-roading, your fridge is going to open and you'll end up damaging your drawer runners. So the criticism I'm going to tell you about is these. I actually had to get these re-welded because this wasn't substantial enough, especially for off-roading I was doing, and I broke one, and then I went and found a welder. I was in Russia. Funny story, I won't go into that right now. So let's show you inside. I'm going to show you in the freezer first. Now it does come with these trays. Let's open that up properly. You can see the ice build up, but I don't think you can blame it for that. It does have its own drain, so when you defrost it, water can drain out to the exterior. Your controls are here. Lights have lights inside as well. Open the fridge, so you can see this kind of shelf here. So below that is just an empty space because it closes, allowing space for the compressor. So this is the smaller compartment. You can choose to have the fridge at the top, larger compartment if you wanted to. So that's the fridge freezer. It's a bit Frigoro. Now I'm going to add a link to bit Frigoro here. I'll add an affiliate link here in my website, so you can buy it from my website. If there's no link here, it's because I've not managed to find it or I've not yet done it. But overall, I'd say this is probably the best overland truck fridge freezer you can get for your money. You may find that a lot of the places you find them, they're going to be like £2,500. As I say, I got this for £1,400. The newer ones, as I said, you can change the temperature of both compartments. I'm not sure if you're going to find those anywhere below £2,500. The older model, like mine, I mean mine wasn't an old model when I bought it, but certainly now I'd expect you can pick these up for £1,400. There is a slightly wider model, and I think that's more closer to 160 litres, but it's a very similar price. If you have any questions, add them in the comments below. If this has been helpful, like the video and subscribe. There's lots more to come. Coming up next, we have more Leyland T244 how-tos. I'm going to continue to show you some of the items in Matilda and tell you why I've got them, or perhaps where I got them from and why I think you should have them, and more things like that. So subscribe to see more.